Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Robin, or Hobbit's Reading List, and today we are going to figure out what I will be reading in the month of April. We're going to play my April TBR game. Well, my TBR game that I play every month. And it is now April. Honestly, I don't have a theme. April, I have some things going on in April, but nothing I can build a TBR around. So, the main theme, if you will, is just books that I'm excited about, because March was kind of rough in terms of the books that I was reading. I can't say I super enjoyed any book that I read in March. Yeah, that is a true statement. That's upsetting. So, let's just pick some books that I'm excited about. If this is your first TBR video of mine, I play a game called TBR Pursuit, where I use the Lord of the Rings Trivial Pursuit board and pick my month's books based off of the prompts. Each color represents a different genre of the 6 most popular genres on my physical shelves, and those genres are LGBT, classic, romance, psychology, Jewish, and fantasy. Ooh, no hesitation that time. I'm getting better after 2.5 years. I also have the bigger spots at the end of the spokes, which are miscellaneous. And those account for all the other books that aren't in those 6 genres, because I am a very eclectic book collector. There is also these purple spots that add a book to my TBR. Now, we're not going to be aiming for that, but I'm not opposed. We'll see how chaotic I want to be. I usually do 7 rolls, but I do have those roll again spots. And I do have a couple books I need to read this month, so we're going to try to fit those in. But fitting in with the theme, 2 of the 3 of them I am already excited about. And I think that's it. I think that's all I have to talk about. So yeah, I'm feeling a little hyper, which is probably not good for the chaos factor. And I've also been drinking a little bit, which is like super fun. Yay! So I'm gonna set up, and then we're gonna see just how chaotic this game is going to be. I feel like it's gonna be pretty chaotic. I love that. Alright, as always, the first roll is sort of a gimme. So, what am I excited about? You know what, let's just go LGBT. So that would be on this level, so this way. Okay, great. My most anticipated LGBT book. Okay, so this was actually really easy. My most anticipated LGBT book is Common Goal, which is the 4th book in the Game Changer series, which I'm excitedly reading, but also trying to space it out, one, so that I, really enjoy it, but also I'm not neglecting, all the other books on my TBR. So the Game Changer series is what Heated Rivalry is based off of. Common Goal follows 2 characters that we haven't seen in the show yet, but will almost definitely be next season. It follows Eric Bennett and Kyle. Thank you, Kyle. And Kyle is the bartender at the Kingfisher, which is a bar in New York City. Technically a gay bar, although I think it sort of becomes a gay bar. I don't necessarily know if that's its theme originally. But Eric is the goalie for the New York Admirals. He's a little bit older. He's close to retirement. And he gets a divorce from his wife. And he meets Kyle, and that sort of kickstarts Eric to, accept his bisexuality. Kyle is quite a bit younger. I think the age gap is 15 years. And this is another book where, like, I've heard people be like, oh, it's not like fully necessary to read it and stuff like that, but I'm like, from what I've heard, Eric and Kyle do make sense. So I'm very interested to read it, and I think it'll be a good time. For the second roll, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is romance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is classic. I'm gonna go romance. I'm probably not gonna select any classics, to be quite honest. Okay. A romance that is adapted or will be to the screen. Okay, so this was actually kind of easy because I was like, when I got that prompt, I was like, oh, am I gonna have to, like, go through every romance book and see if it's been adapted? Which, like, but it's just, it takes a while. However, a book that I recently got within the last, like, month is The Enchanted April. And because of the title, I was like, oh, well, that would be perfect to read. And so I did look to see if it has been adapted to the screen, and it was made into a movie in 1991, I believe. So, yeah, I'm gonna read The Enchanted April in April, which is perfect. I love when I do things like that. So I'm interested because it's labeled as a romance on Storygraph. The summary doesn't make it seem like it's a romance unless there's going to be a surprise in it, which I kind of doubt. But it essentially, The Enchanted April is following 4 women who sort of, 2 of them are friends, and then I think the other 2 are friends, and they rent out this castle in Italy? Yeah, Italy, for the month of April. Because 2 of them, the ones from England, Lottie and Rose, are not happy in their marriages, and so they're sort of like taking a break. But they meet these other 2 they meet these other 2 women, Lady Caroline and the elderly Mrs. Fisher. And, you know, that kicks off them getting to know each other, getting to know themselves in this, you know, very beautiful place. So I'll be very interested to read why it's labeled a romance. Because I don't think it was labeled LGBT. But now I'm going to be looking at the subtext to see if it becomes actual text. Another 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Psychology, probably not. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Psychology, probably not. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. LGBT. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or roll again. You know what? Let's just go back. Let's just make it super queer. Yeah. Ooh, okay. LGBT set at school. Okay. Okay, so I actually had like a couple options of LGBT books that are set at a school, and I ended up picking Ancient History by A.J. Truman. I read a book that Truman wrote or co-wrote before, and I can't remember the title of it, but I'll put it on the screen. That he wrote it with M.A. Wardell, and it was fine. So now I'm kind of, I want to read Ancient History to see, like, was it the Truman part that didn't make that book work for me? Because, like, theoretically it very much should have. So Ancient History is following Amos, who is a teacher at this, like, high school, and when he was in high school, he had a secret relationship with this jock, this, like, really awesome soccer player, whose name is Hunter. And they were supposed to come out on prom night, but maybe Hunter backs out. I don't want to look it up. But he backs out, and so Amos is heartbroken, but they end up both working at this high school where, you know, they run into each other and there's still a connection, and so it's a second chance romance. So yeah, I like the idea. I'm usually wary about second chance romances though, because it all depends on, like, how the breakup is rectified. Because I'm hopeful about this because I can understand it, right? Like, they were teenagers, one of them wasn't ready to come out yet. And so, assuming that they talk about it and it's handled well, like, I think it'll make perfect sense. I've read some second chance romances where I'm just like, I don't understand why you're getting back together. Nothing was fixed. Like, nothing was addressed from your previous relationship. It doesn't make sense. This should. A 5, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 is Jewish. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 is LGBT. I do have a Jewish book, and that I am excited about. So let's just see if I can get it. Watch me not even remotely have a prompt that it can fit into. I think it will. I think it will. A book with a holiday. I think it will. Yes. Depending on how we define holiday. Okay, so I had said, like, it sort of depends on how you define holiday. I'm being a little cheeky. Because for my book club meeting that I run in May, I had picked Don't Forget to Write by Sarah, I forget the middle name, Confino. And this is following a girl who is caught, like, making out with a rabbi's son, and so she's sent to go live with her elderly aunt in Jersey, I believe, for the summer to sort of shape up. Although I'm like, she was making out, like, okay, it's set in 1960, so, like, maybe that's why, because I'm like, she was making out with the rabbi's son, like, that's not that big a deal, but it was 1960. So, however, her aunt is, yes, older, but she's also a matchmaker, and she also sounds awesome. And so this summer is about the two of them deepening their relationship, but also about the main character, whose name I don't remember. You know, learning more about herself and deciding, like, how is she going to live her life? Is it going to be, like, following expectations, or is it going to be, like, being herself? And so I thought it sounded really fun. The reason I'm saying it depends on how you define holiday, because it does take place over the summer on the Jersey Shore, so therefore, theoretically, 4th of July should factor in there somewhere. But also, holiday could mean vacation in certain places. Look, I wanted to do books I was excited about, and I am excited about this book, and I just had to bend the rules a little bit to make it so that I could read it. So that's it. It's my game. That's it. Alright, for the 5th book, a 1. Okay, romance or a roll again? I'm gonna go ahead and go for romance. April's gonna be the month of love. I have not had that much to drink, but the fact that I'm so talkative makes it seem like I've had a lot. Okay, a romance with a 1-word title. I surprisingly don't have that many books that have 1 word in the title. I think for romance, I had 3 choices, I think. So. I just him. What's interesting is that this is also a second chance romance, kind of set out of school. They're in college, and this is following 2 guys who were best friends throughout their childhood, presumably. And one night when they were 18, they had been drinking a little bit, and they ended up doing something. They did something intimate with one another, something spicy with one another. It doesn't say how far they went. And then Ryan stopped talking to the other one, Jamie, because Ryan was under the assumption that Jamie is straight, and he, coerced it, and he feels bad, and so he just, entirely removed himself. And Jamie's just confused. Confused about what happened, because he had a great time. So, They don't talk for 4 years, and then they both are hockey players on their college teams. They go to different colleges, but now 4 years after that event, their colleges are playing against each other, and they have to sort of confront what happened and presumably heal from it. So this is another context where I'm like, assuming that it is addressed, the second chance romance would make sense, because it wasn't a breakup. So I have an issue with the breakup ones, but I think this one will make a lot of sense as well. So that should be good. 6th roll. Another 6. Wow, we really are just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Both of those psychology. We've done this before. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. LGBT. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll just roll again. To get out of this time loop, I think I need to add a book. Alright. So now we're going for 8. A 5. Okay. I think I might have to go that way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Jewish. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Jewish. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 miscellaneous. You know what? This is going to bite me in the ass, but I'm going to do it. Miscellaneous it is. Watch this be like the worst prompt. Okay, it's not horrible. It just has to be published between 2000 and 2020. Okay. Okay, I had a lot of books that were published in the first 20 years of this century, millennium. So, however, apparently there have been a lot of books published in the last 6 years that I'm actually, like, very excited about, and not that many in the 20 years previous. Like, there are ones that I'm like, oh, I would like to read that, but none, like, jumped out at me where I'm like, ooh. So, that was a little bit of a bummer. But a while ago, like maybe a month, 6 weeks ago maybe, I picked up What You Were Looking For Is in the Library. One, because there's a cat on the cover, and I can't resist that. But also, it just sounds very cozy. And it is all about a librarian who gives book recommendations to people based off of, you know, what they're looking for. But it seems like it goes deeper than that. Like, it's not just like, oh, I'm looking for a romance. Like, it seems like it's one of those, like, very specific things that she's still able to recommend a book for it. So, for example, like, the blurb says, a restless retail assistant looks to gain new skills. A mother tries to overcome demotion at work after maternity leave. A conscientious accountant yearns to open an antique store. A recently retired salaryman searches for newfound purpose. So she's giving these book recommendations of these, like, very specific instances. So I thought it sounded really interesting and sounds very cozy. So yeah, should be hopefully good. A 3. 1, 2, 3 classic. 1, 2, 3 classic. 1, 2, 3 psychology. Wow. Wow, that sucks. I'm not wanting any of those. I guess classic. Just alright. Okay. Classic with a one-word title. That does not fit the book that I needed to fit in the game, but that's okay. We have another one-word title. I also don't have that many classics that have one-word titles. I think I had 2. One of them was Atonement, and from everything I know about Atonement, that's super depressing. So I picked up Indiana. I can't guarantee this won't be depressing. But Indiana follows a girl named Indiana, who I believe is 17, and she is married off to this man who is much older than her. And she actually ends up falling in love with her neighbor. It's described as a wildly romantic story filled with intrigue, romance, and betrayal, with an extraordinary, typical woman as its heroine. Indiana Del Mar, a beautiful Creole girl unhappily wed to a brutal older man. It says that she rebels against the shackles of her marriage. Especially at the time that it was published, it was very, like, rebellious and shocking. And I assume reading it, I will still find it like pretty rebellious and shocking, just because I read a lot of books from the 1830s. Again, I feel like I just can't leave 1830. I think it's set in France too. I'm not positive, but I think it is set in France, which is really funny. I just can't leave France in the 1830s. For people who don't know, the first 3 months of the year, I have read The Count of Monte Cristo and Les Miserables, both of which are set in Paris around the 1830s, or definitely in the 1830s, for at least part of the books, and I'm still there. So yeah, this should be really interesting. I'm now very excited about it, just because I will never leave Paris in 1830. Never, never. Likely the last roll for this game. A 2. A roll again. Or Jewish. You know what? I think that's fair. Because the one thing that I'm doing this month is a Jewish retreat. So let's go Jewish. Let's go Jewish. A Jewish one-word title. This game really loves the one-word titles, which I feel like is going to make my life hard. And another one-word title. I, again, only had 2 options, and one of them seemed pretty depressing. So I went with Treyf, which is a memoir of the author who grew up in an Orthodox community, and her sort of, I wouldn't say rebelling, but like just not fitting in and sort of pulling away. And it's her reflections on that. So I think it'll be really interesting. I've had it for a little bit, and I have to say I don't think you can, maybe you can tell, like, I love books with, I don't know how to highlight this, but it has this like texture. It's not even. If you know what I mean. Like that's even. This is very rough. There, maybe that's how you can see. See? I don't know why, but it's really pleasing. I like that texture. Another reason to be excited about it. So, that's my TBR. I also have 2 other books that I have to read. One of them is the Wodehouse book of the month that I read for the podcast I do with my dad, and it is Money for Nothing. I don't know anything about the plot. I go into Wodehouse books completely blind, so there's not really much I can say about that. But I also do have a consequence book, because March was pretty rough reading-wise. I did not read several books that were on my TBR. And my dad is supposed to pick a consequence book, but he wants me to enjoy reading. And so he sort of like, he ends up picking books that he just wants me to read, which I have no issue with. And I know that this book will be better than the last consequence book he picked for me, because he picked The Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon by Stephen King. And it follows this girl whose name I don't remember. All I remember is my dad and I would take road trips when I was younger. And this one particular road trip, I don't remember where we were going, but I just remember that he was listening to the audio tapes. I believe it had to have been tapes. There's no way it was CDs. The audio tapes for this book, The Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon. So I just remember like hearing it. And essentially, like, it's about this girl who gets separated from her family, and she loves baseball, but specifically Tom Gordon, who is a pitcher. And as she's alone in these woods trying to find her way back, the only thing she has to do is like listen to this baseball game. But a baseball game only lasts so long, and I think she's still lost when the game ends. So it's not, for a Stephen King book, like, it's not like scary. At least there's no like horror element. The horror is being lost in the woods when you're, I think she's 11. So yeah, it'll be really interesting, because I've heard it before, and I might listen to it on audiobook just to really like get back into that nostalgia. So those are the books that I have. I'm very much looking forward to April just because this is the first time all year that I'm not ingesting a super long book, which means that I should theoretically make a lot of progress on books because I'm still doing my thing where I'm trying to read every day. And so if I'm reading a book every day, but then also listening to an audiobook 3 days out of the week at least on a higher speed, like I should definitely start making more progress on my reading goal that I didn't with such long books. So yeah, that's my TBR. I'm now very excited and I want to read these books. So thank you so much for watching the video. Leave a comment if you have read any of these books or have any interest in any of these books. I'd love to talk about them. Like the video, subscribe, click the notification bell so that you get notified whenever I upload a video. I'm saying the word video a lot. Just so you get notified because that way you can see my thoughts on these books in mostly real time. Otherwise, I will talk to you in the next vlog. Bye.